Greetings, Bill Nye here. Today we're going to surprise a few 4-H'ers with our Mars trivia game. Greetings, you guys. Bill Nye here.
Hello.
Oh my God.
I understand you've been at home, you've been working hard, learning virtually.
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody else, I'm sure you are fascinated with the planet Mars. We're going to ask some questions. You guys are going to answer them and get points, which will lead to huge, fabulous cash prizes. Team 1, CJ, you're from Georgia.
That's correct.
Yeah. And what's the name of your team, CJ?
Well, the name of our team is the Red Rovers. Since we're doing like a Mars trivia, we wanted to put a little spin on that.
That's it. The Red Planet. Joining CJ, Grant. Grant, you're from Tennessee, yeah?
Yes, sir.
You went to space camp?
Yes, sir.
Thing? And did you have fun?
Oh, I loved it.
What was it you liked about it?
Probably all the team building exercises we did, because it's so amazing meeting people from across the nation that have similar interests in being able to accomplish tasks and do simulations.
So do you want to go to Mars someday?
I mean, I wish, but
you're of the right, all you guys are of the gals are of the right age. So CJ, I meant to ask you, you make prosthetic hands?
Yeah, I do. I have one with me, actually. From Enable Design. They're a nonprofit organization.
But you printed it 3D, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
When did you start doing that?
I started 3D printing back when I was around 12. So around 4 years ago, actually. I've always loved engineering and technology.
Oh, and that's what's behind you. Now that I see it, now that it's
I have my two babies in the back. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So you and Grant are Team Red Rovers, yeah? You're Astrid. You're from North Dakota.
Yep.
And your team name is what?
A&A Adventures, based off of our names, Astrid and Aiden, and we are going to adventure to Mars in this trivia game.
There you go. Nicely done. So see what they did there, people? Astrid and Aiden is A&A. Okay. Astrid, starting with you. You're just leading all kinds of robotic stuff and coding, right?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience being able to help youth learn throughout all of the state of North Dakota by leading STEM days, and we've done those in person, and now we're doing them virtually. A lot of the students that I work with, if we weren't in there doing these programs, they wouldn't have exposure to these sorts of things, and these doors would remain closed for them. So it's really important to me that we open the door and say, hey, if you want to walk through it, go into the world of STEM. But if you don't, now you have some background experience so you can have conversations around it with others.
Well, you still want to have an awareness, like learning the alphabet. You want to know what's going on. Aiden's from Oklahoma and founded 3 first Lego League robotics teams in his community and helped kids get interested in science, technology, engineering, and math. And no, Aiden, why'd you want to do that? What inspired you to do that?
I mean, we're obviously facing a climate crisis right now, among many, many other problems. And if you start the process in informing kids at a young age about science, technology, engineering, and math, you're creating future leaders that will help solve those problems. And you can keep the cycle going, changing the world one student at a time.
Right on. This is cool. This is really exciting. It's great to see you all. We're going to ask you 5 trivia questions. And they're all about Mars. And the team that gets the most questions right gets a special prize, as you might expect. Question number 1. We're going to start with Grant on the Red Rovers. Which of these natural features has not been found on the surface of Mars? A, volcanoes. B, dunes. C, craters. Or D, forests?
I'm pretty certain they found craters and dunes. CJ, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, going one by one, Xing out the ones that we don't think are the answer, craters and dunes, and A, volcanoes. What do you think about that one?
I don't recall hearing anything about them finding volcanoes, but I could see that as a good possibility.
Well, I actually remember reading that there are actually quite a bit of volcanoes. I can't remember the name of one, but there is one that caved in. like 150 million years ago, something like that. So I think there definitely are volcanoes. So
So what's your
seems like-
answer, people? Which one is not on Mars? A, B, C, or D?
I'd say forest because this is Mars, not Tennessee. I don't think there's going to be.
yeah.
That's right. You guys are right. D,
Yeah.
forests are not found. By the way,
That's
the
what I'm
largest volcano in the solar system is on, that we know of is on Mars, Olympus Mons. And if you ever
That's
see
what I'm
the
talking
picture,
about.
the volcano is so big. How big is it? It's so big, it's sunken into the Martian crust. It's, there's a big crack all the way around this enormous volcano on Mars. Next, we go to Astrid from Team A&A Adventures. This is question number 2. Here we go. Mars has the largest canyon system in the solar system. On Earth, it would span from New York City to which other city? Here we go. To A, Los Angeles, B, San Antonio, C, Chicago, or D, Miami?
Well, I remember reading that Mars, their huge canyon spans from rim to rim about 300 miles, which in comparison to the Grand Canyon is just extremely huge to comprehend. So I'm thinking in my head, if it spans about 300 miles from rim to rim, it's got to be much more than that from tip to tail. So Los Angeles is probably about 2,000 miles from New York. Maybe San Antonio's 1,000. Chicago's 300 to 500, and Miami's maybe 500 to 700. So I'm thinking it's not Los Angeles because that seems pretty far. Not San Antonio because that's pretty far. Probably not Chicago because if it's 300 miles rim to rim, it's probably more than 300 miles tip to tail. So in my head, I'm thinking Miami. What do you think, Aiden?
I think it's a pretty safe bet, Astrid.
Okay, our final answer is D, Miami.
It's A, Los Angeles.
Wow.
You guys, it's not 300 miles, it's 3,000 miles. It's freaking amazing. I mean, it's huge. And so it's 3,000, 5,000 kilometers. It goes 20%, a fifth of the way around Mars. It's just, it's otherworldly. The reasoning was very good, but it's just really, really big. It's just really big. Question number 3 goes to CJ. Which was the first spacecraft to orbit another planet? And by another planet, they mean something other than the Earth. Of these 4 choices, which is it? A, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO. Or B, European Space Agency's Mars Express, ESA's Mars Express. C, NASA's Mariner 9. Or D, NASA's Mars Odyssey Orbiter.
Each and every one of those are awesome, awesome pieces of technology. But to break it down, Grant, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and the Odyssey Orbiter the same thing?
I believe so.
Now we have the European Space Agency one. I don't remember seeing anything about Europe having the title of we put an orbiter around the first planet or whatever. So for that, I'm gonna slice that one out too. You all right with that?
Yeah.
So that leaves with the NASA Mariner 9. And I remember that one only lasting about 1 year. And I feel like that kind of makes sense for it to be like the first one. All right, we're gonna go with C, the NASA Mariner 9.
That's right, Mariner 9.
That's
you
what I'm talking
guys,
about.
Mariner 9, it was 1971. I was in high school, people. You know, Bruce Murray, who's one of the founders of the Planetary Society, was involved in that mission. They took a Ranger spacecraft, which is designed to explore the moon, and they sent it to Mars. You got it right. Mariner 9, 1971. Nicely done. All right, here we go. Aiden, over to you. The surface of Mars has a smooth circular plane called the Crisa Planitia. And it shows evidence of water erosion. What Earth-like feature was found here? A, ice, B, clay, C, white rocks, or D, fossils?
I think it'd be a safe bet to knock out ice and fossils, because I think that those would both be a bigger deal, and that would be something that would that everyone, I think, would know as like a common fact. I mean, fossils would indicate people or animals or organisms live there. That would be a pretty big thing. I'm thinking clay is a good answer. I think maybe, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe a NASA rover actually found clay. But what are you thinking, Astrid?
Well, I know that I live in the remnants of an old glacial lake, Lake Agassiz, and our valley is filled with a bunch of clay because of that old water structure thing happening there. So I'm thinking that clay is probably a good bet.
So you guys are going with B, clay?
Yes.
That's right. Bing, bing, bing. That's right. Yeah. when geologists find clay, they infer that there had been water there. This enormous area was apparently part of an enormous lake or ocean, an ocean. And it really is an amazing thing. So that's where people are going to go looking for signs of fossilized bacteria, stromatolites. Nicely reasoned, you guys. Very, very good. All right, where are we? Question number 5. This is the last question, and we're going to give it to both teams. And this one is not a multiple choice. It's not a multiple choice. This is reasoning, thinking deep thoughts about Earth and Mars. The distance between Earth and Mars changes as the two planets orbit the sun. So theoretically or mathematically, what is the shortest distance or the closest approach of the two planets in their orbits around the sun, Earth and Mars? Estimate how close together they get. And whoever gets closest to the correct number gets the point.
This is a very good question. And it's a good question that I have no idea. So Grant, take it away.
That's pretty good.
It is a good question. It's probably got a good answer too. I know for a fact it's probably more than 60,000 miles. A lot more than that. What are you thinking, CJ?
I was just gonna go big or go home. I said like 6 billion. That is quite a bit though. Do you want to like meet in the middle somewhere? How about like 6 million or 60 million? Like, which one are we gonna choose?
60 million sounds.
60 million? You want to lock that down? We cool? Can we get a virtual high five to lock it in? Boom!
I kid because I love A&A Adventures. What's your answer?
I'm thinking it's probably not quite 60 million. I feel like I remember from a little high school astrology class coming in here, but I think it's probably around the 20 million, 30 million area. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less than that, but it's around that area. What are you thinking?
That's sounding really good to me. I certainly don't have expertise in planetary spacing, but 20 to 30 million is sounding like music to my ears. So let's average that out and go with 25 million. Sound good, Aiden?
That sounds perfect.
25 million.
A&A Adventures gets it because it's 33.9 million.
Ooh, so close.
So you guys,
Nice.
really, it just shows you, seriously, when they're hypothetically as close together as they can be, you're still at 34 million miles. There is so much space in space. So if you are astronomers, and let's say for this thing, you're both actually pretty close. In astronomy,
Few million miles.
whatever. But I got to say, A&A Adventures is a little closer. That was you guys really well reasoned. Well, you guys, it's a tie. So each club gets $2,000. So
Wow.
Oh,
that's really good. That's great.
thank you.
Congratulations. That's really good. Go out there, use that money to advance your education, and dare I say it, change the world. Thank you for playing. And, you know, as I say all the time, the more we learn about Mars, the more we learn about the Earth. Thank you all. Thanks for playing. Thanks for taking time. And it's just so cool to see you all. And I bet you we cross paths.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
An honor to meet you.
It's been a
It is.
pleasure. I've been watching you since I was like a fetus, so this is like it's yeah.
And you guys, another thing, you know, the world is changing. I mean, you are going to be part of this really exciting new future. You guys are going to be running the show, and I'm really excited about this. So
I have a
great to-
question though.
What's that?
So can we all say that we're friends of Bill Nye now?
Sure. Yeah, we like them. We're like this. Yeah.
Great question.
Right?